Hey, kinfolk, welcome to Keeping It Neat. I am Derek, Executive Bourbon Steward.
I'm Nick, Certified Bartender.
And we've got 98% Becca here with us.
I was even still
97%.
Oh, you're
nine.
Well, hey, listen, but that was on a different test. When you take that one, if you beat me, you can brag about it. But we are here tonight, folks, with our live sip along with the Old Humble Distilling Company. We've got our special guest with us, Joe Breda. We're going to bring him in a minute. We just want to kind of get this going here till we get some people coming in. I'm going to bring Joe in, going to do our little spinny thing there to start this off in a minute. Nick, what's been going on with you?
just ready to start sipping along. That is for sure, my friend.
Yeah, I know. Can't wait. I hope everybody's got their sip along kits that we sent out. We sent those out to everyone. So we're going to be starting. We're going to be drinking the straight whiskey first. That's what we'll be sipping along with first. We're going to bring Joe in a minute. I'm going to do this. And where am I at here? I'm all over the place, man. I'm a mess. I can't do these lives. This is it just threw me off. Everything. Lives throw me off. But we're going to be back.
We're way too more comfortable in the studio.
We're way more comfortable in the studio, and be right back in 9 seconds. Hey, and we're back, and we got Joe with us from Old Humble Distilling. And Joe, it's interesting because I was saying humble and using the H, and actually it was a person from Texas, one of our followers, that mentioned it to me in a comment on one of our videos, whiskey review video from Your Whiskey. And he said, there's no H in it. It's spelt humble, and then he went into the whole, he sent me a link for a reason why the U is dropped, the H is dropped in it. I was like, wow, really? Yeah, gave me the whole explanation. I got schooled by a Texan on what happened, what the reasons why and everything like that. So
did he give you the founder of the city was an Englishman explanation?
Yes,
that's the founder of the city was a Frenchman explanation.
No, I got the founder was an Englishman explanation. Is that he gave for the reason.
Is there some controversy over who it is?
Yeah, that was it.
Between the Englishman and the Frenchman?
There's no controversy. It's just there's two competing stories, but I think the French story is just people screwing with foreigners. Foreigners, I mean people from not in humble.
You mean us people?
Exactly. Y'all weirdos with funny accents.
Yeah, exactly.
From north of the Red River.
North from the northern side of the river over there. We're up far up in the north. Now, are you originally from Texas? Is that where you're born and raised?
My family's from Louisiana. We were we come from the area around Natchitoches, and I was born in Toledo, Ohio, and then we moved back here when I was like 2. So.
Oh.
I pretty much lived here all my life.
Okay. Well, that's...
I have fond memories of snow and vague ideas of what it does.
Yeah, big ideas. Let me tell you, after the first one, after that, it's overrated. Yeah, it's pretty. You look at it, go, and everyone's out there. Oh, it was majestic. And, you're out there shoveling. And then when a month and a half in and every weekend or you're getting a snowstorm every weekend, the snow's piling up. You're like, I hate this. Oh, God, I just want to move somewhere where it's warm and there's a palm tree or something. I don't have to see this. But every area, I guess, has its different thing. You get tropical storms, you get hurricanes, so.
We actually had
85 degrees in November.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what it is right now. We had snow last week.
Yeah, it was 72 degrees today. Yeah, 72, something like that.
Earthquakes.
Today. Yeah, earthquakes. We had an earthquake the other day up here. So, that was big news.
You get earthquakes up there on the East Coast?
Yeah.
We never usually do.
No, it's like once every few years. I think the last one they said was like 2012 or something like that. I think they said the last earthquake, and that was only like a 2 point something. This one was a 4.2 or a 4.6, I think it was. But it was like it does happen, and it's not, a lot of people don't expect it, but up north they don't think there's earthquakes, but there are, but it's just like a little rumble, and it's like you could mistake it for anything. You could mistake it for a truck driving by. That's the whole thing.
Just a little rumble.
Yeah, just a little rumble, Hey, let's see who we have here. We got Richard Morano's in, Darren Morano, Mike Achilles.
We got a lot of people. Hi, everyone.
Bubba is on. Darren is on. Hey, guys.
I'm having trouble bringing the video up on my YouTube, so I'm just going to follow the chat here on this side of the screen.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because the whole thing is like, and remember, folks, if you're joining us tonight, right above our video from the live right now. If you click on that StreamYard link that's right there, that'll give you the permission so that way we can see your name in the chat if you're chatting with us right now. Because if not, it just says Facebook user. I'm actually using my phone down here because if you don't do that so I can see, because when I'm looking down, it's not because I don't want to make eye contact with you. It's because I'm seeing who's making the statement so I can know I can add a name to it. So,
cool.
but private chat. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we're back. But
Happy
other than
Veterans
that,
Day.
yeah. Oh, yes. Thank you, Nick. That's I almost forgot that it is Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day.
Anyone who served. Now with you, Joe, it was how has the pandemic affected your business and everything like that, sales wise?
It's been a little bit of a mixed bag, to be quite honest, because we haven't been able to go into stores to do the tastings since March, give or take.
Oh, wow. Yep.
So, we were able to be in there in January and February, and we were waiting on the restock to hit. And then all the local stores here in Texas kind of shut everything down in mid-March. While we were actually on the road, we went out for spring break. So we were in Arizona when the apocalypse started. And then when we get back, all the tastings were shut down. I had a couple of them scheduled from when I got back. And of course, I had to cancel those. And they've been shut down, let's say March, April, May, June, July, August, September is when they restarted. So that was 6 full months of just kind of limping along and trying to figure out how to stay in the public eye as a brand new brand, because people go out there and buy, they're buying booze. They're buying plenty of it. But the stuff that they're buying is their Wild Turkeys and Jack Daniels and Jim Beams and,
stuff they know.
Yeah, the stuff they know, the stuff they're familiar with, but certainly not taking a risk, going out and taking a leap on something new. They're going for their habit whiskey is what I call them. The stuff that Dad drank, the stuff that Grandma drank, the stuff that they put with honey to make them go to bed, that sort of stuff.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, the thing is too, is, if this was available in my area, I would buy your whiskey all the time.
I was going to say
really good. I mean, when we did our review,
away yet.
Oh, I'm not giving anything. I mean, they watched our video. It's not like it's a secret. We did a whole review on it.
That is true.
So, I mean, it's really good. And I mean, and as far now, the price points that I mentioned during the video, I said that the straight whiskey was 26, and I think the special reserve was 38. I think was the prices. That's basically what you're going with your prices on those.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. In the local stores, it's like 30 and 35 to get out of the store. In my distillery, it's 30 and 40.
Okay.
And after tax, and I'll probably drop that price down from 40 to 35 when the apocalypse. When it wraps up. Yeah, because I'm going to start selling my bourbon, and I want to kind of slide my bourbon into that $40 to $45 price point. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, when's that coming?
When are you going to be when you sliding that in?
For the last 2 years, it'll be available in the winter. So,
I like it. You're building. I like you're building the suspense, Joe. That's what I like about it.
I'm just not giving you a year. It'll be available in the winter. Just stay tuned.
A season.
Not this winter.
Season,
but,
exactly.
But that would be our Boomtown bourbon.
Yes, the boom. Oh, okay, the boom.
That up on the camera.
Boom sauce.
Yeah, boom sauce. That made me laugh.
Boomtown.
Boom sauce.
Boom sauce. I was like, yeah, it's boom sauce. And then I saw Joe's, he commented on Twitter, boom sauce, it's Boomtown. I was like, oops. So I actually put it in the comments down. I put it in the description. I said, Derek screwed up. It's actually Boomtown, not boom sauce.
Right.
I've had like a beer that was boom sauce before, so I think I even made a comment like, I've had boom sauce. You're like, you've had boom sauce? Like, when have you had boom sauce?
Yeah, well, that's Lord Hobo boom sauce. Maybe I don't know. That was, and I'm like, I think it's right. I think I had that right, but no, I didn't have it right at all. So if you're just joining us, everybody, we're going to be starting with the straight whiskey if you have your sample packs with you. So that's what we're going to be sipping on first, just giving that a little try as you're going along. I actually have a picture of it, actually.
Throw it up there.
I did it up there. There it is. The Old Humble Distilling actually won the London Spirits Silver Medal. In
How do you enter those? Do they get selected, or do you have to enter it?
It is, it's a very prestigious process of getting just filling out a form and sending it in. It's not very prestigious at all.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, I tried to go with the mystique, but there's no mystique. You print out a form, you send in the entry fee, and the way these international I want to make it sound. I want to be completely honest with it and make it sound like fully open. Everybody gets a bronze medal. You send it in, you get a bronze medal. Everybody gets a bronze medal. You pay your entry fee, and that's like the baseline. It's a good drinkable, whatever it is. At least my understanding is that everybody gets a bronze medal. I don't think you pay the $300 entry fee and get nothing. But to get the silver and the gold medal, that's a different tier of like the judges have to actually pick those and choose those as medal winning whiskeys that they would either recommend or buy.
Okay.
And as far as the straight whiskey goes, it is the highest ranked American whiskey in the entire competition except for one.
Wow, really?
Which was our special reserve.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I like that. Was good. That was good build up right there. I was awesome. I don't think he's going to mention another company. I said he didn't do that. No, he didn't. He actually tied that in nicely.
That was awesome.
That was perfect.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, very.
And I'm really glad you guys liked it too. By the way.
Yeah. Oh no, it was really good. And that's the whole thing. It was like me and Nick said. He goes, I said, let's, we're going to try it. We're going to be like we always are with everything else. We're just gonna try it and we're gonna see how we like it. But it was really good. That the mash bill that you have with that one now, that 91% corn with the 9% barley, that's you get a lot of the sweetness out of that.
Barley, come on,
barley, the barley, barley. Sorry, that's the way we are. It's there's gonna be some New Englander coming out. Not gonna lie to you. I can say wicked a couple of times. We'll go to the yard. But that mash bill like that. Now your Boom Town, saying that correctly. Now you're saying that's the bourbon. Now do you use 3 grains with that one, or is it still the same similar mash bill as this?
Yeah, our Boomtown is a traditional tri-grain, bourbon. We heavy weighted on the corn a little bit to give it a little bit sweeter flavor and a little bit less of that bite from the rye. The rye kind of balances it out, but because it's a small barrel, small batch, shorter aging time, we don't have so much of the barrel flavor in the bourbon itself, so we don't have so much of the rye to balance out that barrel. It's all a balancing act. You don't want too much of one or too much of another, and if you're bringing in one flavor profile, you've got to balance it out with another one. Which, with regards to our straight whiskey not having any rye in it at all, we couldn't use a new barrel to age that whiskey in at all, because if we used a new barrel, it would taste like the inside of a barrel. It would taste like licking burnt toast or something like it. It just tastes too much of the barrel. And there's a lot of corn whiskeys out there that they use new barrels and they age it for whatever it is, 5 to 7 years. And it, for my personal palate, I think it kind of overpowers the flavor of the whiskey itself. Which is why we do what we do. We just kind of try to balance these things out.
Ready to pour.
Yeah, well, pour them out if you got them, folks. Get them ready. Get them in your glasses. Don't wait on. We just said we were starting with the straight whiskey. Pour them out. Sip along. If you get any, whatever you're getting for flavor
over there.
Yes. Ready to pour. Ready
to pour.
Ready
to pour. It's ready to pour. Yeah, I've been already poured mine out. I don't know what everyone's waiting for. I said in the very first minute, I said straight whiskey is what we're starting with. So I poured it out before that. But yeah, definitely get in on it. And, as you're sipping along while we're talking here, just, put up what you may be getting for tasting notes or nosings out of it, what you're picking up. And, and me and Nick will say yes or no. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to say, nope, not at all. Yeah. That's not what we got. You are wrong. We never do that ever. We have yet to ever say that to anyone. What you're getting is what you're getting. But it actually helps that we have, the master distiller here from the actual company with us. So he can tell you if you're wrong or not, I guess. I don't know. Now, you started, Joe, right, at a craft beer company. Is that correct?
I started making beer in my dormitory.
Oh, well, there you go. That's craft experience 101 right there.
I was 19. The laws had just changed in the state of Texas to allow for home brewing within a certain quantity. You couldn't make like more than 300 gallons a year or something like that. And I was too young to buy beer, but old enough to buy water, yeast, and bread. or rather water, yeast, and grains. So I made beer in my closet at the dormitories.
Well, there you go. That works.
You were a very popular roommate.
It wasn't technically illegal because I didn't buy beer, but I think it's kind of illegal to consume beer if you're underage. So that was probably the skirting of the law that I did back when I was a young child. They can come after me if they want. I think statute of limitations.
The statute of limitations now. I think you're safe. I think you made it past it.
I think you're good.
Now, folks, if you remember from when we did the unboxing episode, which I will do tomorrow when I actually get back on Facebook, on YouTube, I'll put all the links up to the videos that we've done about Joe's whiskey already. But those will be up above Nick's head. So in there, you said you made bread with this. It was like you made the never-ending loaves of bread to get your perfect mixture. Is that true? Did you really use that the mixtures, the different combinations to try to lock it in?
No.
All right. Well, you did add at the end of that. Some of this may be true. So I get it. I was just curious because I think I heard that somewhere else.
That was the legend of Maker's Mark.
Oh, okay. Yes.
The founder of Maker's Mark didn't have 7 years to wait for his whiskey to age, so he made bread with it. Mm-hmm. Of course, a lot of those backstories are complete horseshit.
Yes, there is a lot of those. Yeah, there is. There's a lot of those.
Texas coming out of you.
Yeah, that's it. This is the no filter coming right here.
I don't know. Does he smell clove?
If you smell clove, I'm
gonna say yes, probably, if that's what he smells.
If you're getting it, I mean that's definitely possible in there. If you're picking up that clove, some spices in the background, perhaps you wouldn't be wrong with it. You really wouldn't, because you're getting those used barrel notes, so you're getting the barrel itself.
My favorite way to screw with people when it comes to whiskey tastings is ask them if they can taste the peach. The peach notes that are in the back end, because it's very subjective. I mean, y'all know this. Y'all do tastings, and it's very subjective. And somebody's at the table, and I really do smell the tobacco leaves in this. And everybody's like, yeah, we can smell the tobacco leaves. It's awesome. And there's no tobacco leaves in whiskey.
Yeah,
there might be some of the notes from the barrel, from the charring of the barrel, but it's very subjective. And when one person says it, it just goes like a wildfire across the whole, and then everybody smells it or everybody tastes it. And that's why I loathe giving people, when I go and do tastings like what I'm going to be doing tomorrow up in Lubbock, which is, by the way, Facebook and YouTube, internet world. Lubbock is 8 hours from my house. And that's my commute tomorrow is 8 hours. Welcome to Texas. It's the size of half the world.
Yes, it is. Half the United States, basically. It's the U.S. plus Texas. I think that's what we call it.
And there's only
in that time.
There's only like two things in between here and there too, and it's a dreadful drive. Anyway, but they asked me what it tastes like, and I just pour it and give it to them and say, "You tell me what it tastes like," because I can tell you what it tastes like, but I'm biased. I think it tastes like the tears of an angel.
I love it. Did you get the tears of an angel in yours too? Because I did. You can really pick it up. It's more on the back end on the finish.
It really does, taste like unicorn sweat. It's great. It's the best. You can really get the glitter.
You can. You get that glitter out of it, definitely. I agree.
It's like Goldschlager with like the gold chips in it. Instead, it's little unicorn dust. Yeah.
Right. And there's a little bit of the corn brings a kind of a sweet burn to it. There's a sweetness to the corn, but it's not finished with the barrel, so it doesn't have that round, smooth, mellow flavor. It's kind of almost like a Granny Smith apple type of tartness to it, but in a good way.
It's nosings and palate and everything that it is subjective, but it's really based on your experiences and what you've tried or tasted or smelled in your life. So why, like me and Nick will do it all the time. I'll pick something up that he doesn't get, and he gets stuff that I can't get. But to tell someone that they're wrong, that whatever they're picking out, you know what I mean. But I like your method of messing around. Oh, you are really getting did you get the pineapple in the background on that? It was delicious. And then people put pineapple in there, but they'll say, you know what, I think I got it, because you're putting that thought in their head too. Yeah. So
you can get them nodding. It's not hard to get them to start nodding. They'll go right along with you.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see you getting that fruity tone in there. Like it's like a tropical. Oh, definitely tropical in the background. Yeah. That's some coconut
too. This is great with orange juice. You should try
that. In the morning, right before you're getting ready to go to work.
Also, don't try to mix it with a Bloody Mary mix. It is dreadful. I've done that.
Oh, is it?
In one of my cocktail quarantine happy hours early on, I did because I've heard that you could do a Bloody Mary with whiskey. It's like a bloody, I don't know, some English name, but it was dreadful. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it wasn't the worst thing I've ever put in my mouth. That was a cherry whiskey.
Oh, I should have.
But
I should have sent you some stuff.
It was very close.
I should have sent you our Halloween episode whiskeys, and you could have tried. If you could have done your video on that, and that would have been great because you want some bad stuff in your mouth. I had 3 of them you could have put in there, and you would have wanted anything else but those 3. Those 3 whiskeys were dreadful.
He's not talking about the whiskeys.
Yeah. Those 3 flavors you don't want to put in your mouth.
Glad you clarified.
Yes, thank you. Too late now. It's out there, folks. Hey,
Hey, Derek, by the way, are you ready to whiskey? Because you never cheers.
Yeah, we're all whip. Hey, we're ready to whiskey. Everyone in. We're way past that point. We're past that.
I know you are.
We're already.
Now, I have been playing around with a recipe for a peanut butter cup old fashioned. I've got the simple syrup made. I just haven't sat still long enough in the last 2 weeks to make the drink. But it is that comment is great. Yeah.
COVID. Thanks, Mike.
But no, I just haven't sat still long enough to like do the whole old fashioned thing with the simple syrup. I mean, it's simple. It's whiskey, simple syrup, stir, done. But every time I sit down to have a drink, it's like I just want to have a drink. Screw this.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. Sometimes you just don't feel like mixing and getting into making a cocktail. With more than just be pouring something in a glass. There you go. That's my cocktail.
Right.
It's done.
I'm done.
So
simple.
Joe, how'd you make the simple syrup then with the peanut butter? How'd you do that?
I took a peanut butter cup.
Yep.
Put it in water and boiled it.
So okay.
All right.
And just like a quarter cup of water, because it's only a little small mason jar. Dropped it in there and boiled it, and when it was all dissolved and liquidy, then I let it cool in the mason jar, and that was it.
Okay.
Let us know when you're doing that one, because we have some friends who would like to be updated.
Yeah, there's some that want the PBO. That's actually sounds very interesting, and I know a lot of our viewers would enjoy doing that. They really like the cocktails that we do put out, when we get those out there.
Yeah, that's Tony and Paul right there.
Yeah.
The whole simple syrup, unique simple syrup type of stuff. I've just started exploring that because I never really was a cocktails type of guy or a cocktail type of, I made the whiskey and I drank the whiskey. That was it. But since the beginning of the apocalypse, when we've had to start doing YouTube videos and start engaging on the internet more because we couldn't be in stores, that's what we started doing. We started our YouTube channel.
You have a cocktail every show. Just about.
Yeah.
I started that way. Absolutely. We started doing cocktails at the beginning of the show, and cocktails with a story specifically that went along with the cocktail that sometimes had a shred of truth to it. I've got stories that stretch all the way from 1830 up to 2047. So I've got kind of a spread of historical narrative.
That is a story. You actually shot into the future, made a cocktail, and came back to tell us, tell us about what's going to happen later on. That's nice. I like it.
It's a very good cocktail, and some of them are really good. Both the cocktails and the stories, because one cocktail, the Banana Rascal, was one that I picked up in Havana right about the time that the main got sabotaged. So that was a really great story.
Oh.
You'll have to hear that story some other time.
Yeah,
but it's a great cocktail.
It was a great cocktail. There's a whole big story to it too.
Yeah, but that's a story for another time. Because I'm a real true believer that whiskey tastes better with stories and friends and campfires, and you can pour it neat, you can pour it on the rocks, put it in a cocktail, but you light up the campfire and you're sitting out back and you start telling some good stories, true or not. They just make the whiskey taste better.
That's Nick's favorite thing.
Yes.
Sipping
by the campfire. I can every story with Nick is I could picture drinking this by the campfire.
Yeah.
Just me and you just sitting there with a bottle, just killing a bottle by the campfire, and but
Derek's like, we haven't done that in years.
I will plug a different whiskey just for the moment. try Balconies Brimstone corn whiskey. If you like whiskey by the campfire, that whiskey tastes like a campfire. It is really, really, really good. It's smoked. It's corn that was smoked over Texas scrub oak, and it is, you open it up and it smells like a campfire, and you drink it and it tastes like a camp. It's a really good whiskey. It's one of the whiskeys that turned me on to making my own whiskey when I discovered that whiskey didn't have to taste like Jack Daniels and it didn't have to taste like Jim Beam. It could actually taste good and have good feelings associated with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that got me into doing this.
Yep. Well, and that's the whole thing too, is that you don't have to copy someone, what they're doing. If you can come up with your own thing and it's good, that's number one. I mean, it's your own brand, it's your own flavor, it's your own flavor profile. If you can do that, and people, and you can get the larger market of people to do it and to break away from what they consider, I guess, traditional, the whiskeys, the bourbons and whatnot. I think you're doing pretty well. Actually, I got Darren Marano here asked, is this whiskey is great. Where is it available around here? Well, all that you have to do, Darren, is only drive about 2,500 miles to Texas.
What is define around here? Is that
it's available in the U.S., just not by us.
Well, I'll tell you, Brown delivers. So,
there you go. Right. So there's Brown delivers, folks. So,
it's available in Texas. We have an email address, info@oldhumbledistilling.com. I have a network of partners around me. We can only sell 2 bottles per person per month. And we, the distillery, are not allowed to ship. But when I sell it to those people, they can ship.
There you go. So there's your answer right there, folks.
Waving all over the place, smacking,
waving, knocking stuff around, and so again, in the description, I'll have all the links for Old Humble in there.
Kinfolk road trip.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's gonna be load up a van and come see us. We'll have the tasting room ready to go in a couple of months.
Nice. That's cool.
Follow our YouTube channel.
You did build a new facility, right?
We have. We are renting space in a new facility, and we will be building out the tasting room over the course of the next several months. And that will, clips of that will go on the YouTube channel as we do the build out.
Nice.
Build the walls, do the floor, epoxy the countertops, do all that stuff that we need to do and make it look pretty and presentable.
Nice.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah.
When we can travel again.
Apparently,
Tony's willing to drive us.
Yeah, there. Tony's going to drive us there. He's got his vehicle called the Boner. It's just, we're not going to go into the reasons why it's called that, but it's the Boner. It's actually.
We're all going to pile up there.
Tony, can your truck actually make it all the way to Texas? I've seen pictures of it. I wish I had them. If I knew this was going to happen, I would have had pictures of your truck to roll up in here, so we could have seen. I don't think we'd make it that far. I know you get over to Martha's Vineyard with it, but I don't think it was going to. I don't think it would make it.
He puts it on the boat.
Yes, the boat gets it there. He pushes it to the boat. The boat takes it over, and they push it off the boat, and they start fishing. So,
telling you, get one of those party buses.
This is a party. Actually, he bought a old military ambulance. So it's basically, I think it's a Ford chassis with it has that big box on the back of it, and that's what it has. It's all set up. It still has the actual racks in there for the medical racks, so you could put the wounded on and cart them around. But that's what he uses for his fishing. But that's his vehicle. But yeah, we could get some people in there and travel.
No, his wife says it's not going to make it.
Oh, so, okay. I was wrong. Sorry, I said Ford, but I guess the military doesn't buy Ford; they buy Chevy.
There you go.
Amazing. Now, Becca was curious. Now, in your area in Humble, is it your backstory? It was the oil began. Oil, the oil was in that
your
area.
Logo. Why is there an oil rig thing on your logo? Okay. Is that what Humble is known for, or how did it get there?
Or is it hang on one second. I'm being asked a question by somebody. Yes, darling?
I just found out that YouTube crashed.
YouTube has crashed. We just found out.
Oh, well, that's what someone. Thank you.
I love you, Dave. Thank you. That explains why I can't. My technical assistant. And,
we actually had a gentleman that came on earlier, Dominic. Thank you, Dominic, because Dominic did say that. He said that, how's it going? He goes, YouTube was having some technical difficulties. So he goes, good thing you guys are going live on Facebook.
Yeah, my son was having problems getting some videos, and I'm like, I don't know why you can't watch your dumb Fortnite video. I mean, it's just not working, and I'm not. I don't care enough to fix it because it's just some dumb Fortnite video. Go read a book. And now I'm trying to pull up an important video like y'all's, and it's just not happening. And my lovely wife
that will be the reason why. So there it is. So we're not going to be able to pull up any of those because of that.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, that is a bummer. But I'm just I'm just hoping that even though with the technical difficulties, that this is still recording to actual YouTube. That way it'll be able to be uploaded tomorrow at some time. Because if not, I'll have to download and go through all that process to upload it. Yeah. I don't know how long. It's not fun uploading an hour video.
That's always fun.
Yeah,
that always is. Yeah. So back to the question. The oil derrick on our logo. You may be familiar with this little company called ExxonMobil that sells oil and gas stations all across the country. Exxon used to be known as Esso in parts of the country and Humble Oil in other parts of the country because Humble Oil is where there was a company that was founded here in Humble that had this big oil strike over on Moonshine Hill. Not named for moonshine, the liquor. Moonshine, actually, the hill was the only place where moon shone because it was wooded all around it. But that part of the story kind of gets dropped in the local lore. And then, eventually that oil field became Humble Oil. Humble Oil became one of the largest oil companies in Texas. Eventually merged with Standard Oil, turned into Esso Oil, and became Exxon, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, one of the only contributions to the larger national narrative that Humble is known for. That and Intercontinental Airport.
I did not know that. We're from Acushnet, and we're known for Titleist golf balls. But
yes, that's it.
They're not in Titleist isn't in Acushnet any longer, so it's moved over to the neighboring towns.
Yes, the neighboring town.
Even though it says Acushnet Company on all of the Titleist golf balls,
it used to be.
It's not any longer.
That's what we were.
Humble was an old oil boom town, like 3 times in its history. It started off as a lumber town. It was a whistle stop, a picnic stop on the rail line that left Houston. It was literally like 30 minutes north of Houston by rail. It's not that far by car, but it was like a 30-minute stop, and they'd jump out. It was like Jackrabbit Junction. People, the story is that people would get out, go into the field where the train station was, lay out a picnic blanket, and shoot jackrabbits. That was their afternoon recreation that they would do. And then there was old lumber mills. The Bender family had an oil mill or a lumber mill, and then the Sterling family was one of the ones that struck oil out here, and it turned into an oil boom town like 3 times over the history of Humble's growth. And then we turned into this little cottage bedroom community just north of Houston after everything moved down to Houston, and that's the history of the town. We're an old oil town and lumber town.
I have to say, I really love your logo, the shape of the bottle. Like, how did you go about deciding that? Like, I mean, most of the whiskeys all have a round bottle, but I love the square. I love the shape. I love what was that process?
Well, one other quick thing. This picture back here on the back of our that is our skyline from 1919.
Oh wow!
Oh, all right.
That's what Humble used to look like back in the day, about 100 years ago.
See it in there? If it'll, there we go.
That is a picture from Moonshine Hill, an old postcard from about 100 years ago.
Wow,
that's cool. Yeah, that's
us.
Now, are there any actual like oil fields or any oil derricks and stuff that still left? Yeah,
those oil fields are still active. They're still around, and back in the big boomtown days, they had oil like in downtown Humble. There was oil rigs in like people's backyards, like no kidding, like oil rigs in people's backyards, like on Main Street. And the old artesian well is where the Roughnecks would come in. There was a bathhouse by our old artesian well, and they'd come in and take their showers and have their bath. In the bathhouse.
In the bathhouse.
Yeah. So we were very much an old Wild West town, old Humble, or an old oil town. But the process of developing the bottle was not. I wanted something that would look good on a table. It would look like a decanter. It would look good on a table. It would be classically designed and show off what was in the bottle more so than what was on the bottle. So I settled on a square bottle because there aren't many that are square. Most of them are round. It looks a little bit different. A handful more have started using the same bottle style, at least down in this area. But I mean, that was it. I wanted something that looked different. Fun fact: I just got a new. We're working with a third partner to make some gin, and he has round bottles, and we got a new label machine that puts the labels on his round bottles. And I really, really, really like it. So we may be switching bottles to round bottles.
Oh man!
Because I like this.
Because it is so easy. I like the square bottles. They look good. They pack easy. They sit on the shelf nicely. But man, it is so easy putting those labels on those round bottles. Just put it in, hit the button. It's like a little trigger. You hit the button, it goes, and you take it off, and you can just do 100 of them in an hour. It's great.
Wow. For all of our viewers, we're going to switch up. We're going to go to the special reserve, Nick. So pour them out if you got them. Yep, it's time. We're going to switch over to the little special reserve, so everyone's on the same page. What would you?
I was just looking at it. So a lot of people got vanilla, caramel.
Almond there was in there. Yep, there was some fruit, clove we had in there for the first one.
So I want to see if it's going to be
we had the dreaded word. I saw someone say smooth. Someone said it was smooth, so that was good. I like that. I like the terminology. But this one is very good. It really is. And like I said, I will put everything down in the description. I'll get all that. I'll get all Old Humble's information. I'll put his Facebook link. I will put the email for Old Humble itself. So, you can work your stuff out with him because, as you heard, Brown delivers. So you work it out that way if you're really interested in getting some of the Old Humble distilling whiskeys here. Leather was also another one.
Be different.
So you guys can work that out, but
the peaches and tobacco leaves.
Yeah, the peaches, tobacco leaves, the peaches, and Laffy Taffy, and there was actually Tootsie Rolls someone actually mentioned too. Which
they're totally because you don't follow all the time. However, when certain scents and certain things I get, and one of those things is banana Laffy Taffy. I find in a lot of the things I sample, and I found Tootsie Pop in Pappy Van Winkle, if you can believe it. I found Tootsie Roll. It smelled like a Tootsie Roll to me, and so now they make fun of me. Tootsie Roll
and bubble gum.
Bubble gum is one of them. Yeah,
absolutely.
Well,
so
whatever
I have
it is,
shirt.
Whatever it is you think you see, it becomes a Tootsie Roll.
Right
to me,
exactly. It's so that's one of the running
kids.
A culture. Yeah, that's way back. So you'd have to pull that up. It's like with what was the one Saturday morning? It's I'm just a bill sitting up here. Conjunction Junction. That's it. We'll do all that. Schoolhouse Rock. That was it. Schoolhouse Rock.
Schoolhouse Rock.
With the butter.
Blasphemy on the Pappy. It did. It was the Pappy 15. No, it wasn't. It was the 12.
Was it 12?
I think so.
Yeah. In the butter.
In the butter.
Sorry, I'm requesting a simple syrup.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. No problem. No problem at all.
My technical assistant.
My technical assistant. Yes,
she is a.
Yes, we have a technical assistant also. That's we wouldn't be able to do the show without her.
She used to come on my quarantine happy hours, but she was like, "I'm done with this."
Done. Yes. No. The Becca makes special appearances. It has to be the right episode, and then she'll pop out and make her appearance. But for the most part, it's just her voice in the background, either mocking me or Nick at some point in time during our videos.
Yeah.
Well,
and this is, we usually I do my shows a little bit later. Yes, that's it. Like later, like after the kids go to bed later. So this is the peanut butter cup simple syrup. So but now the kids are awake and they're eating dinner, and so you might be able to hear them fighting in the background in a few minutes. Because I'm a normal person. I mean, I make whiskey and stuff, but I'm a normal person. I have stuff going on. Flat tires and kids and dogs and birds and stuff. I mean, I don't have a python. I'm not a weirdo.
You don't have a pet snake that you just sit around with in your smoking room, stroking slowly. Looking over your empire.
But I have been known to have my bird on my shoulder every once in a while.
Yeah, well, there you go. Nick did that too. He killed our armadillo, but that's another story.
Another time.
Killing armadillos.
Multiple armadillos.
Yeah, we had our mascot armadillo. Cheers. We had him, and so Nick was dressed up as Cheers right there for everyone. Cheers. So yeah, we had it in. It was one of our episodes, and he, for whatever, he had a sailor cap on, and he was going with rolling that. So he was going to put it on his shoulder like a parrot, and well, it rolled off, and it was made out of wax. It was a candle basically from like the 1970s. It's like a vintage candle. Can't get those anymore. Rolled off his shoulder, broke like the ear off, and everything like that. So it was like, so yeah, he killed Abel the armadillo. So we had to have him reconstructed. We had a whole episode where we went to actually a ceramic specialist potterer. So, and she rebuilt him from, made him. So she actually did a really good job. It was amazing. So she did a great job resurrecting him. But
so about our special reserve.
Yes.
We take our straight whiskey, a portion of our straight whiskey. We put it back in new 5-gallon barrels. Small. So they're small barrels. They're about yay big, give or take. Well, so in the smaller size barrel basically gives it an equivalent of about 2 years aging. So the straight whiskey ages for at least 5 years in a used barrel. The special reserve goes back in a barrel for anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks. I'm sorry, 4 weeks to 6 months, depending on what time of year it goes into the barrel, which is the equivalent of about 2 years in a full-size 50-gallon barrel. It gives it a darker color, because the barrel gives it all the color, and with a new barrel, it gives it more color faster. It gives it a little bit darker color, a little bit deeper flavor. You get more notes and more flavor out of the barrel itself. We're not bringing anything new from the mash bill in. It's all extra barrel flavor, and it kind of rounds it out and mellows it out without completely overpowering the flavor of the whiskey to begin with. I don't want to taste the inside, just the inside of the barrel. I wanted to taste the whiskey. And Nick, you noted that we went through 13 iterations to get this flavor per my notes, but we actually went through 16. We settled on number 13 because it did not get better after. This is the job that I have. I swear to God, we had 16 bottles laid out on the table. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, like all the way down the line to 16 to see. And we're sitting around with like 6 people on day 2, 4 people on day 1, and we had tasting notes for each one of these. Complete silence, sitting around the table, having like an ounce of whiskey. We had to do it over 2 days because there were 16 bottles, and the graph of ratings kind of went like this and went up, and then it flatlined right around the 13th bottle is where it kind of flatlined, and it kind of started and actually dropped off a little bit towards the end because a lot of people didn't like the last one. And that's how we settled on the amount of time and the flavor profile that I'm specifically looking for with this whiskey, the 13th iteration.
Huh. So are you hiring for that position for the next round?
Yes, for your next batch.
Asking for a friend?
Yeah. Well, we may do a road trip. We've already had the offer to drive us. So,
well, we have a rye in the works. We have a rice whiskey in the works. We have honey whiskey? Rum. Yes, a rice whiskey. This is rice. This is also rice country out here. So, we're an old oil town, but if you go 15 minutes that way to the east, that's east, by the way. You go 15 minutes that way, where you cross the Lake Houston and you go into rice country, and it is rice paddies from the Gulf of Mexico all the way up to where the woods start.
Wow.
A little bit further north of here, and it is and it goes almost all the way out to the Sabine River. That is just rice paddies as far as the eye can see.
Wow.
Which is one of the reasons why Beaumont floods all the time. It's in the middle of a
bunch, I guess, yes. If you have rice paddies, I guess it's a kind of a low-lying area. So I can see that. We got the whiskey friend with us. Hello, sir. We're drinking some of the Old Humble Distilling Special Reserve whiskey right now. That's what we're sipping on.
Oh, YouTube must be back up because he made that.
Yeah, it's from YouTube, so YouTube must be back up because he's commenting.
And just for you guys, I like to use my Special Reserve for heavy flavored cocktails like an old fashioned. And I've got this simple syrup, the peanut butter simple syrup, peanut butter and chocolate simple syrup. There it is. That I made a few. There's some stuff in the lid.
There you go. Perfect. See, it's
interesting.
It's good stuff.
Drinking a treat.
Yeah.
It tastes like a lot of chocolate. But I'm going to take a few spoonfuls of this and put it in there. And so I picked this drink up when I was on safari in Africa in just after the turn of the century, back in 1907.
You look good, Joe.
There were we had discovered a brand new. I'm doing chocolate bitters here. We had discovered a brand new location to base a settlement, and we were going to start exporting cocoa beans. And these folks were like, "You should try the peanuts too." And that's when we put the cocoa beans and peanuts together and came up with this peanut butter cup stuff. And damn it if Hans Reese's didn't steal it from us.
They beat you to it.
Yeah, stole it straight for. He was in my party.
Yeah, was he? Oh, he was there. See, that's
left the expedition early, and that's where the Reese's peanut butter cup came from.
So like
you can see the colors, a nice kind of a soft mocha color.
Ooh, look at that! That does look good.
And it tastes yummy. It tastes like it tastes mostly like chocolate. I can barely taste the peanut butter in it. Which is kind of disappointing because I like the peanut butter.
Right.
Do you think if you
what?
Used one of the peanut butter whiskeys that are out and available right now, if you threw that in there, maybe that would splash of that may kick up that peanut butter note.
Maybe.
Yeah, I know you're trying to keep it all natural, Joe. I know you're trying to keep it to the old humble.
I'm not a fan of flavored whiskeys. I mean, I get why they are, but it saddens me that they are. Because I understand. Really
for the purists, yes, it kills the purists. It really does. That.
I mean, back in the '90s, they had like Celis was a beer company here in Texas, and they had pilsners that were flavored with like raspberries, and you could get an apple Celis, a raspberry Celis, a strawberry Celis. They had all these fruit flavored beers, and it was just like dreadful because it tasted like fruit. And if I wanted fruit, I'd go eat fruit. If I wanted beer, I'd go get beer. But if I want wine, I'll go get wine. I don't want my wine to taste like beer, and I don't want my beer to taste like wine. Like, leave me alone.
Yep.
Quit making choices for me. So I think Celis is owned by Coors now. But regardless, all that that's a long ways to go for I like whiskey to taste like whiskey.
This one is that Tony?
Your brother.
Oh, wasn't my brother? He said, chew the chocolate off and just throw the peanut butter in there when you melt it down. I don't know. Maybe you can use a knife, but if you fight, I guess no one's there to watch you, Joe. If you want to chew the chocolate off first before you make your simple syrup.
Maybe it was this stuff that was stuck to the lid. That was see, now the lid's empty. Maybe that's where all that peanut butter flavor was. I don't know. I'm gonna play with it a little bit and see if I can get more of the peanut butter flavor into the simple syrup. Maybe I'll use 2 peanut butter cups.
Oh, 2. Well, there you go.
I would also maybe add a little honey in there too. Might give it a little sweetness.
Maybe kick it up. I mean, if it's not getting enough peanut butter, I imagine you could just scoop out some peanut butter and throw that into the solution also.
but the peanut butter in a peanut butter cup is a very specific flavor of peanut butter.
Yes, you're absolutely correct.
Texture, it's kind of grainy. It's a little bit almost salty. It's not sweet like peanut butter.
Yeah, you're right with that. It's true.
Yeah, it's a specific texture and a specific flavor.
And I'm sure there's a reason why it's like that. I would imagine the graininess to it. It's got to be. It probably it's for the shelving and whatnot. I'm sure.
That's what Hans Reese's added to the flavoring to the recipe while we were busy on safari.
That's what he did. He went back and perfected that end of it. Yeah, he added that graininess.
Yeah.
He said wanted a little more natural.
Well before I even planned on being a distiller.
1907.
Yeah, 1907.
Other things what do we got? I was fresh off our caper in Havana.
All right, Dominic is comparing the nose on both.
Yes, he's going back and forth between the two. He's saying that this one's a little sweeter. He's saying he's getting a little sweeter note off the Special Reserve.
I really don't have anything left of that one.
I get more, honestly, with the Special Reserve, and I think me and Nick both did, we got more of the spices out of that. You get more of those background, the baking spices that really came through for us anyway. The first one, the straight whiskey, that was really the sweet notes we were getting in the beginning with that. A lot of that corn was coming through for us. Okay. This one was a lot more of that deeper. It was, I think we said it was a little bit more complex, a little richer, a little, more rounded, really. It was really good. I mean, it's amazing.
I think because it has hints of cocoa in there too. So I bet that your cocktail sounds amazing for this. Like I mean, I was like, my mouth's watering watching you make it. I was like, oh,
peanut butter cup is my favorite candy. Like, you can get me to do anything if you bring me enough peanut butter cups. I mean, it may be a lot of
Tony,
peanut
how many
butter
can
cups.
we fit in the boner?
Yeah, how many peanut butter cups can we fit in the boner, Tony? You get what's that calculation you got for that? Yeah, we'll pack it up and we're gonna make the drive down. We're gonna see Joe down there with.
We have a job waiting for us.
Yes, got a truckload of peanut butter cups. Now, in a lot of the pictures on your Facebook page.
When we actually get into the when we finish the build out, I can conceivably see myself having several mason jars of different simple syrups behind the bar to make old fashions for people coming to visit, because it's a really cool medium to make new drinks with, because all it is sugar and water, and there's so many things that you can just turn into sugar water, or like pomegranate juice, or peanut butter cups, for God's sake. Or we did a pumpkin spice. This is a pumpkin spice old fashioned, which you can find on our YouTube channel, by the way, in the Cocktail Corner episodes. A pumpkin spice old fashioned. It's pumpkin spice simple syrup with like cloves and brown sugar and nutmeg and whatever else goes into pumpkin spice. I can't remember all the stuff that went into it, but it was like 4 ingredients. You boil it, all it is boiling water, and you add sugar, and done. You have a simple syrup, and you put it in whiskey, and poof, you look like a wizard.
Well, if you're
like,
that,
I'm gonna go make cocktails for everybody, and then you go into the kitchen because like that conversation's annoying and bugging you, and you go into the kitchen, you turn on a couple of videos, you watch YouTube, and like 20 minutes later, you come out with 4 cocktails, and they're like, "Oh, you're amazing!" And all it was like,
All right, so if you're going to do that at your tasting room and you're going to have simple syrups, you need to also have some shrubs. We did some fruit shrubs. It's seasonal fruits. It's delicious. So it's with vinegar, but it's like
it's a little vinegar. It's basically sugar water and then you add the vinegar to it as simple syrup. It's basically a simple syrup with the fruit. You put the fruit right in there, strain it out, and you get like the raspberry, pineapple. We were doing it with everything this summer. We had peaches. We had blueberry, and then we did mixes of blue raspberry. And
delicious.
It sounds suspiciously like you've just sent me on a quest to get a shrubbery.
The shrubbery.
Not yay high.
Yes,
and to go with another shrubbery. And then I'm going to have to go get a red herring.
You will have to get the red herring. You definitely need that. These are some crazy references.
Reference, kids. Go check it out.
That's the whole thing. If you're not going along with that stuff, that movie right there is amazing.
People of a certain age know what I'm talking about.
Tony says, I like Joe. Let's have him on more often.
So there, we got the seal of approval. We got to bring Joe back more often. There you go. It's the official. We got to have Joe on all the time.
I seriously considered like just showing up like normal me, like just me, the distiller me, with my T-shirt and my baseball hat, and wearing my regular glasses and stuff.
I've never seen you with every time I've ever seen you has been either on one of your shows and everything. You always have this outfit, and I told Nick, I said, I don't know if I should wear sunglasses and my cowboy hat. I don't know what to do when Joe's on. So I said,
specifically referenced the Old Humble guy as like this.
Do I want to look like the Old Humble guy?
I couldn't not be here like this. Yeah.
That's right. So but that's like it's the signature outfit. That's what I know that you're in every time when I watch you. That's what you're wearing on your lives and everything that you're doing. So I know.
Now, if you catch me on my late night streams when I'm like playing my games or just whatever stream of thought. In fact, I think I fell asleep on my last one that I did because it was like 3 a.m. and I was really tired. I'll be in the T-shirt and the baseball hat and maybe my sweatpants or whatever, because I'm not like the Old Humble guy. I'm just like doing dumb crap on the internet. But I debated whether or not I should, like, this guy should show up or the distiller should show up, but I'm glad I did it right for you. You got to pay me in Reese's. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's what pretty much our viewers are all on board with.
My house and I'm in. Peanut butter cups, peanut butter M&Ms, even those Reese's peanut butter candy bars. Actually, you know what? That's what I made this with. I made this with peanut butter chocolate candy bars, the Reese's candy bars. That's probably why it doesn't taste right.
Okay.
The actual peanut butter cup.
You should do the big cups because there's more peanut butter to chocolate.
Yeah, that's more peanut butter than chocolate. Right.
Yeah, look at that. Whew, look at the brain on that kid. Wow, look at him crushing it, making the simple syrups.
You're going to be my 2020 Hans Reese's. You're going to steal my... Damn you, Hans.
He's going to start his own company, going to take off with it.
100 years after Hans Reese's stole my first plan.
And then it was Nick. Nick took your next one.
This in on 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
But it really is a good cocktail.
Oh, it sounds amazing. It really does. I mean,
that's what you get on my cocktail corners. You get my dumb cocktails and my dumb stories. Where I came up with a cocktail.
I like both of them. So you got to keep them coming. There's no end to it. I love it.
Yeah. And that's how my quarantine happy hour started, because it was a quarantine cocktail. It started off as a quarantine cocktail, and then it expanded to the quarantine cocktail happy hour. And then eventually I just kind of dropped the quarantine cocktail and just focused on the happy hour, because my guests were far more interesting than me, and I could separate that cocktail into another show. But I mean, like this month, we've had Jackie Cat, a local comedian. Brian Biggio is tomorrow's show. He's another local comedian. We got Wendy Bonbon coming on, who's a burlesque dancer from Canada. We've got May Hemmer, who was another. She's just a freaking force of nature. She's hilarious. We laughed. Me and her, we just sat there and laughed for like an hour. It's a great show. But she's a burlesque dancer and cosplayer, and just she does everything. She's amazing.
Wow.
But all that stuff was just like that. Those guests, those interesting people, they kind of supplanted the cocktail part of the show. And now those cocktails have kind of gone off into their own show, where I can do a 5-minute, 10-minute, whatever show of this is the cocktail, and here's the stupid story behind the cocktail. Like my next one is the Quarantini. Whenever I get time to actually record it, it's the Quarantini. It's a cocktail that we picked up while we were on a steamer running spices from India back to the Crown colonies from Southeast Asia. That's what we were doing. We were picking up ginger and other spices from Southeast Asia. So back in the late 1700s.
Yeah. Now at that time, were you racing Christopher Columbus? Did you get there before him to get the spices you needed?
That's just crazy town. We weren't racing Christopher Columbus. But the British ships were using gin and tonics, and we were using this. We were drinking whiskey, our Quarantinis, the whiskey and ginger ale. And our whiskey and ginger ale was twice as effective. But what we didn't tell them is that it was twice as effective at getting them drunk, because we used twice the whiskey to their gin. And that kept them off our backs while we were able to raid their shipping posts. See, we were very clever back then.
You were very extremely. Wow. I like it. You had it all figured out. That's for sure. I mean, you had a plan. A man with a plan, clever. And that's the best part of it. If you have a plan, that's just stay one step ahead.
Twice as effective. That's all. You don't even know what it's effective at. Quit asking questions.
Doesn't matter.
And every once in a while, we'd mix in a little bit of bad water with the ginger ale, and it would keep the British dysentery a little bit occupied in the loo. Yeah.
There you go. Nice. I like it.
Whatever we needed to do, because most of the time our steamer runs were not exactly what would you say, legal? Yeah.
Not the legal runs that normally you take those.
We didn't have a charter. I think it was
there was not the proper charter for that. You didn't have the what is that? The English.
And actually, I think that's my oldest story. I don't think I have one going any further back. I'm sure I'll come up with one.
I think you
just got to think about it.
On it. Yeah,
I got to look back at my notes and my journal and see.
Yeah, definitely break out your journal.
Yeah, because the English language has changed over time.
It definitely has. Now,
finding what I can write.
When I was looking at some pictures from your Facebook, I was looking at your distilling process and your bottling and stuff. Now, do you have like a line, or it looked like you were doing it all by hand? Really, is the way you're doing that?
Everything we do is by hand. Okay. It is a very manual process. We have a label machine that does one bottle at a time. We do I think the most efficient thing we have is our bottler, which does 4 bottles at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, everything we do is we are a small distillery. Our facility is all of 2,500 square feet. The actual operating floor is 1,500 square feet. We have 250 gallons of still space. Right now, we're operating on 25 gallons of still space to make to do our gin runs. We are we're processing through and kind of trying to grow past the apocalypse because this came at a very inopportune time.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I just started doing this full time in October of last year. It's been all of 12 months and 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
That I've been doing this full time. The previous part, I was doing it part time while still working at a bank until I was invited to not work at the bank anymore, which was a very uncomfortable point.
Did they make it weird for you? Is that what happened? It was just odd. And
they made it very weird. It's like I won't quit in March, and they're like, "Hey, you can quit now." Like, is that quitting? They're like, "Well, you don't really have a choice." I'm like, yeah, well, yeah,
there you go.
And then the apocalypse started, and it was like, oh, Jesus, I guess I can't go find a job. I guess I'm gonna have to make this work.
Yeah, you'd make a great dread pirate, Roberts. There you go, with all your experience.
Yeah, I'll take that. With my experience, my storytelling.
Yeah, but you'd spoken about the what's this? What do we got? Dominic Columbus ain't got nothing on Joe.
Columbus didn't know where he was going. I'll tell you a thing or two I know about Columbus. He didn't know shit. Dude didn't have any idea. He didn't know the bow from a stern. He was lost. 30% of the time, he was lost, and he never asked for directions. And when he did ask for directions, he didn't know what anybody was saying because he only spoke Italian.
See, so there's no point in asking directions.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you've got to turn. When you get here, you've got to turn north, and that's where you're going to get it. No,
100%. He got his entire not dowry. His benefactors bought into his plan 100% based on his translator, because his translator's name was Arnold, and that dude knew what he was talking about. Like that dude sold the whole expedition. Like it was old Chris and Arnold was like, look, King and Queen, Isabella and Mark, whatever his name was. Like, this is what we plan on doing. And he thinks he's going to India, but I'm telling you, there's a whole nother continent there, because there's like the way the earth is shaped and stuff. And Christopher was sitting there like, see. And like, this dude was selling it. Arnold's the real hero. It should be Arnold's Day, not Columbus Day.
You know what? It may actually be more of an approved day if it was Arnold's Day. It wouldn't be Stain it does for now, but
like, they don't know.
No, they don't. I can just picture Arnold right now, as what you say, just kind of listening to Christopher, looking at him, going, yeah, and then going, this is our plan.
Yeah.
Arnold was an Englishman, and England and Spain at that time were kind of related because of whatever, marriage or whatever. But he knew Italian, and Christopher Columbus didn't know Spanish because he was dumb. He was super dumb. But he was charismatic, and that's what's important, I guess, when you're captaining a ship that's that size. It was only like this big. Mm-hmm. But that's how he pulled it off. He had Arnold, who knew 3 languages, which was rare at the time. He was a monk.
Oh, well, there you go. It always helps. You have to have multilingual monks. Those are rare in the day.
Usually they take about
usually they do. But this guy, I'm going to be a translator.
1490. That becomes my oldest story. Yeah.
We can keep going back. Look at that. You're crushing it.
It's now been created.
Yep, and it has been created.
Let me tell you about think about it. 2 BC. No.
Looks like you're gonna have some company soon.
Yeah, you got Faith's gonna be heading down there. Her sister lives in Utto, probably Utto, Texas.
Oh yeah. No, it's Utto. That's pronounced that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. I'm afraid to pronounce H in Texas anywhere. So if I travel to Texas, everyone's just going to look at me weird because I'm dropping the H for everything.
Well, it's the extra R's and whatnot.
Yeah, the extra R's will throw on. We sound like pirates when we get to Texas. That's what we sound like.
Hutto is where my brother-in-law's car was sold for scrap. So I am familiar with that town. That is north towards Nacogdoches, which is different from Natchitoches, where my family is from. Spelled very similar, related cities. There's a story behind that.
Oh, there seems to be a story behind everything. But
honestly, if you do it right, there's absolutely a story behind everything.
Stories, but as far as the whiskey
right here, I got at IKEA. Let me tell you the story behind that.
It actually started out a Swedish company. If you knew that.
See this scar? that's where that thing from IKEA came from.
Hutto, Texas.
Yeah.
So
Hutto.
Hutto.
What
was the story what was the story in that about the Special Reserve when you're sitting around the campfire talking about that band that you saw that one time in that place? What was the town's name?
Do
you remember?
Buddha.
Buddha. Yeah, that's an actual town in Texas.
Oh, is it really?
That has a cool little bar and little local indie bands. The band, even big, national, Stevie Ray Vaughan and James Earl, not James Earl, Johnny. Shit. Sorry. Trying to remember the name. Robert Earl King. That's the name that I'm thinking of. Those guys show up at those stages in these little towns in the middle of nowhere that's just surrounded by corn and cotton and wheat. And that is one of those little towns that you can, normally 50 weeks out of the year, you're going to see nobody playing nothing that you even recognize, some little garage band or whatever singer-songwriter that's just trying to get a thing, or maybe it's his home band. But every once in a while, you'll get some kind of diamond in the rough, like Stevie Ray Vaughan, show up at the stage, and he's just passing through town. And he's like, we'll stop and get a beer and we'll spend the night here and then play at the stage, and boom.
That's cool.
Dave Chappelle played at Rudyard's during the apocalypse a few months back. It was this little surprise pop-up show that wasn't supposed to happen, but there was people at the bar and Dave Chappelle played there. It was just amazing. Just amazing what you can find at these little bars around town.
Wow.
And these little nothing stages in the middle of nowhere, nothing cities like Buddha or Hutto or you just never know. And this is exactly why you need a really good whiskey with a really good memory, because you can sit there and you're like, I'll be damned. It's that guy from that show. He's awesome.
I agree with you. That
this is great whiskey.
Yes, it is. It's great whiskey. And it heighten the experience. That whole experience that you're having when you're drinking it, that changes everything. You know what I mean? It makes a good whiskey great. It makes, the good times drinking with friends and everything. That's one of the things we always kind of put out there. But it's true. It really is. That time I caught that band at Buddha, and then we ended up staying there till 3 a.m, talking to them afterwards. And, that's what you picture when you're saying, drinking whiskey with friends and, just having a good time. That's what I think of too.
Mm-hmm.
That was funny. You do have some great stories, and those are amazing. They really are. The best one was when we did, like I said, that unboxing and your backstory and how you came up with everything with 2 Jedis, and everything.
Y'all inspired me to make that video.
That was hilarious. That was amazing.
I should record that. It took me 18 takes. Kid you not.
Yeah, 18 takes. Holy cow. Yes, he needs a bottle of the special. Seriously.
Yeah, we got to get it. He's got to get up in 6 hours.
Oh,
get me a treat. He's already
we're not gonna get it to your blind. That's the deer hunter. We're not gonna get it to your deer blind in 6 hours. You're gonna have to stop at Specs to make that happen. No,
he's going for his Christmas tree, I guess, already.
No, I'm telling you, he's going hunting, and he's going to
deer hunting.
Deer hunting.
Boar hunting, possibly, depending on where he's at.
Yeah, no, that's right. He's a big hunter, so that's where he's going. He's got to get up his tree stand before the crack of dawn, so he's ready to pounce on a deer with his knife in his hand and make a lethal kill like a ninja. He makes more sporting. I don't even use a gun when I'm in the woods anymore.
Fun fact about deer hunting: my lovely wife will not eat deer at all.
Really?
But she will absolutely 100% eat the wild turkey sausage that I give her that has deer meat in it.
Well, maybe it's because it's more. Because
you haven't told her that there's deer meat in it.
As long as I don't tell her it has deer meat in it.
Yeah, exactly.
She thinks deer tastes like turkey.
Well, there you go. It tastes like chicken to me. I don't know. It all tastes the same. It's delicious.
She thinks it tastes like turkey. She doesn't know what turkey tastes like. And she hasn't poked her head around the corner, so I'm certain she's not watching because she doesn't know YouTube's back up and running. She'll probably yell at me later. That's fine.
For sure.
I'm allowed to go boar hunting, but I'm not allowed to go deer hunting.
Huh. Well, that's big out there, isn't it? There's a lot of boars.
Versus
they're
there's
scourge.
Wilbur.
Wilbur the pale, but it's different. Wilbur was a farm animal.
No.
Boar is
Wilbur's
a farm.
pig.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a boar is different.
A boar is
a boar will kill you.
Dastardly rotten beast that has giant tusks and it will attack you and eat your family.
Yeah, it's Pumbaa. Yes, it's Pumbaa. It'll eat your family, come to your house while you're not at home. They're just rude creatures all around, I've heard.
Yeah. It doesn't sing Hakuna Matata. It sings, I don't know what it sings.
I don't know, whatever. Some death metal song before it gets out of its car.
Show tunes and stuff. And you're like, that's weird. And then it stabs you because it picks you off.
There you go. Exactly.
You just stabs. They're totally chilled out.
Yeah, they're totally chilled. I had that one up there from Darren. He said they really enjoyed it. You know, everyone seemed to that the Special Reserve was their favorite. It seemed a lot of them. Yeah. They liked all the notes they were getting out of it, and everything. And actually, we had quite a few people that say, "Oh, I got to find it. Is it available?" You know. So, like I said, I'll put everything down in the description down below.
Hit me in the emails. We can make it happen.
There you go. So
we are very low on our inventory of Special Reserve right now, but we can make the straight whiskey happen pretty quick.
Nice. That'll be cool. So
I may have Special Reserve available by Christmas.
Ooh, maybe. So put it on your Christmas list, kids. Hey, Joe may just squiggle down your chimney and drop off some special, some straight whiskey for you, some Special Reserve.
And if you don't have peanut butter cups sitting there with a glass of whiskey and some cookies, then I'm just gonna steal your tree. That's it. That's how it is.
And your whiskey. Yeah. Your whole whiskey closet is mine.
Yeah. So we had one
rifle through your whiskey, pour out that garbage and put it in the sink and
he's gonna dump out your whole bar and it's gonna be nothing but Old Humble. It's gonna be left.
I'll leave a note and says your whiskey sucks. I fixed it.
Yeah, so actually we found out what the wild boar will tell you before they do it. It's gonna be Hakuna Makilia. That's what someone said. Right. So yep, that's about right. Yep.
All right, people are signing up.
Yeah, people are getting ready to wrap it up. So
and I'll tell you, when we hit 400 subscribers on our YouTube channel, I will be doing a drawing for a free bottle of whiskey.
All right. So keep that in mind.
350 right now.
All right. So everyone head on over to the Facebook page. I will put that down in the
Old
description.
Humble Distilling Company. Is
Old
the
Humble
channel. We hit 400 subscribers on the YouTube. I give away a bottle of whiskey. And when we hit 500, I'll give away a bottle of whiskey and spend a night in a haunted cemetery here in Humble. Ooh. And again, when we hit 600, 700, every 100 subscribers, we'll give away a bottle of whiskey.
Nice.
Because I'm crazy.
Yeah, it sounds it. So you nothing to lose. So jump on over there, sign up for all that, subscribe to him on his YouTube page, check him out on Facebook. Definitely follow him on Facebook. And again, like I said, I'll put everything down in the description down below. Joe, thank you so much for being on with us this evening. It was amazing.
City would like a yeehaw for the road.
Most I've had on a Wednesday night in a long time. I appreciate it.
Oh, that's we appreciate you being on tonight. It was a great show. It really was. That a lot of laughs tonight. It was great. Sadie says, "Can we get a yeehaw for the road?" I don't know if that's a big thing down in Texas or not, but
we feel like it should be.
We feel like
here
it
in
should.
Massachusetts,
Yeah,
it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be saying y'all and yeehaw. That's what
we're y'all is definitely in my repertoire, but I'm going to have to actually work up a yeehaw here.
He's gonna work it out.
Here it comes, Sadie.
I gotta dab the forehead there. These lights are hot. I mean,
it's of course, stage lights.
It's like 93
dehydrated. Yeah, I know.
I'm trying to figure out the proper volume to use.
Oh, there it is right there.
That
is the perfect way to take out a show, everybody, with that. So thanks so much to Joe Breda from Old Humble Distilling down in Texas. We loved having him on tonight. Nick, do you have anything? You've been yourself. That's what you've been.
You guys have taken the show. I can't do it. I got nothing to throw. I feel like I'm like,
don't think as they said that, but well, everybody, as usual, thank you so much for joining us today. Actually, keep in mind, next month, we're going to be doing another live. I think we're looking at like December 9th. So check us out, follow us, make sure you're following us on our Facebook page. That's where we'll make our announcement on our next live on what we're going to be doing. We're actually going to be doing Cleveland whiskey. We know what we're going with. So if you're going to get in on the samples for that, pay attention to our Facebook page. We'll make the announcement for that. So you'll be able to get in on it. You know, I think I'm going to have like 20 to 25 samples I'll be able to get out for that tasting that we're going to do. So it's going to be really cool. We've got some barrel picks. We've got some regular Cleveland whiskey and some special once a year release for them. And we may actually have some swag if I can work it out, but we'll see. we'll see if I can work that out. But other than that, folks, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And here's hoping that everyone finds a little bit of luxury
in otherwise ordinary life.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.